This video will show you the growing plan for all my garden. Look back at last year's growing plan video for a different perspective. But first I want to share with you what is still growing in my Hugel bed from last winter when I developed even more Hugel beds. February on the Hugelkultur, and these are the tomatoes that I planted from my indoor growing area. As you can see, I covered them over because we do get a little bit of cold at night still. And as you can see, they're all doing very well. And the water containers take the sun and produce some condensation inside, which keeps them all growing and keeps them all cosy. So don't be thinking you can't grow outdoors in your cold months as long as things are well protected. So these are doing rather well. These are quite tall now. Not sure how many's here. What do we say? What, 45 maybe? And as you can see, I've used even some clear plastic cups as well. Yes, they're coming on already. Love it here, it's so sunny first thing. So this is a good area. The broccoli is still growing in the Hugels. I've just cut a lot off for our Sunday dinner. So that's going well. I have some new chard coming up in one of the beds. I've just covered that over. They do seem to get eaten a little bit on the Hugel bed, so I just put a cover over them to keep them safe as they're growing. I do see some random peppers growing on the ground between some of the beds, so they obviously drop their seeds, so I'll sort those out. And an old random tomato plant from last year I found here. This is all from last year now, I'm just showing you what's still coming up by itself, because here we can grow tomatoes all year round anyway. And this is from last year. This is an old pepper plant that I haven't got back to cutting back, but as you can see, we still have peppers growing. Not the best, but they do actually grow. That one now is off, which is fine, because I'll collect the seeds from that and just pop them back where I got them from. And there's another pepper there. So it just shows you can grow these all year. Look at my video about how to actually regenerate these, rejuvenate these, how to cut them back and when to cut them back. As I say, I've not been down the Hugel area this winter, so it's just interesting to see what's growing on its own accord. So these will be snipped right back before the next buds come. This is lettuce I planted in this Hugel bed in January. So these are lettuce. I've done 3 different types of lettuce here. I've done a row of each. I've over sown them, but I can thin them out if needs be. But these just grow straight outdoors as long as you put a cover over them. They're hardy enough. That's one lot. There's another lot there. I'll show you the packets in them indoors. So most of the lettuce are doing pretty well. 2 lots grow better than the other. The Rosa lettuce grows the best. But I do like the green lettuce varieties as well. And in January I also planted some onions. There's a few under each cloche here. And then the ones you see growing are from last year. What I had left from last year. So again, these were planted, the ones under cloches were seeded straight onto the Hugel patch in January. So keep looking back at all my videos if you want to know what grows when and how it all comes out. I do follow a series separately of Hugels, raised beds, indoor garden, and then a separate video also on other growing areas, because I've grown things like baths and containers and just in the ground. So you can always make comparisons. This is from last year. Not touched this apart from taking some broccoli for some dinners. I put a net over. The only pest that really annoys me is the caterpillars that are from the white cabbage moth. Beautiful butterfly. We've actually had the butterfly all year this year. We normally have it late winter and then spring onwards. I haven't got quite enough net to cover all this one. So this is from last year. My broccoli just regrows. So I do collect the seeds so I can move them to other areas and to give to friends. And this is just one other of the many Hugel beds I've got. This is from last year. Again, there's some peppers still coming up that need chopping back, and some red chilli peppers. They've been going most of the year as well. And the final Hugel, where I've got something actually growing in it from seeded from last year, are some carrots. And we have this little area that I made last year. That's by the water irrigation tank. And there's a few random onions from last year come up. And the peppers I've got to chop back that will grow. I think I'll probably just do all tomatoes in this area, as I have many of those. And then I've just weeded out the apple orchard area. This is a chilli pepper that always comes up here that I've cut back, so that will grow. This Hugel Bed was the kohlrabi, which I don't have any of unfortunately, but I wonder if some random ones will come up. So we'll see what's going to go in here this year. And I've weeded around all the apple trees. And then all the tyres I've chopped back that were all peppers, so they will regrow again. I'm contemplating also putting some tomatoes in with them all. As you can see, I've chopped them all right back, the peppers. I may just leave them all as peppers. So that's this area. There's more apple trees behind me. That's a pomegranate, needs chopping back. And maybe these two old buried dustbins, maybe these will just be tomatoes as well. These are sunken into the ground. And a pot there. This is tomatoes from last year in this salvaged crate that I've now found out that they mix cement in the building sites. And my suitcases, I can grow I think shallow in there, and you may notice there's some random rosa lettuce from last year, and this is something salvaged from this year. And I've put great big pet food bags in. I've got to fill these with compost that I make myself, and this will probably be more peppers. I raised growing beds in February, and I do have a video on how we built these. No nails, no screws, for us no cost, because we had the metal we've lined them with and also free pallets. So in here I'm going to do more likely my zucchini again, but as you can see there's already plants coming up that were here last year sown. So we have some plants already growing. So we should do some peppers again in here as well, along with the zucchini most likely. I do have a garden plan from last year, so look at that. In here last year I had rosa lettuce, and as you can see I leave that every year and then get more seeds and they drop there. I collect some but leave some to naturally drop because I do like natural gardening. And you can see I still have remnants of last year. I've touched nothing in here. What I did do the other week was took out the last of the beetroot from last year. It was still growing nicely, and we had that. Mike had that. I don't eat beetroot really. And as you can see I've already got the next lot growing. This is February. And I took the last of the radish seeds out of this bed and sowed some more in January, end of January, and look, they're already coming through. So I sowed some more radish today, February. And here's some more beetroot coming through. And some more radish. Onto the next bed. This is really just showing you the remnants of last year and what's going to happen maybe this year. I've been topping up the beds. I've got some more of that to do before I do any more planting. This bed last year was all onions and carrots, and this is all from last year, still coming up. And some carrots still coming. As I say, haven't sown anything yet this year in the raised beds apart from the radish and the beetroot. And then another raised bed here, again remnants from last year. Now this was my aubergines, mostly in this bed, and I'm actually leaving them. I know you're supposed to dig them up, but I find a lot of things that you're told to dig up, if you cut them right back, they do regrow. So I'm sure some of you tell me they won't, which is fine, because I don't know very much about aubergines yet, but you know me, I experiment. So I'm considering maybe cutting a couple down and maybe leaving a couple as they are, just to see. And I've still got some aubergines left that didn't finish growing because it was the end of the season. As you can see, I put them in net bags, and I'm leaving those to die right back and see if I can get the seeds from those. So also by keeping them in the bags, that means the seeds won't be lost. So I'm seeing if they just go back naturally. And I have planted aubergines already this year, some seeds. And this is the end of the okra. Again, I know you're supposed to pull those out, so I won't do that until I'm ready to put something back in these, because obviously the nutrition is still there. If you cut the stems right back, you'll still see a little bit of green going on. So I'm leaving that. And for this year, hopefully, we've got 2 more beds we could finish, but you know us, we don't buy anything. And we do have some metal roof we want to remove and replace where we had the floods in the kitchen. The roof above that needs to go. And so when Mike has time to do that, amongst all the 50 million other jobs we have to do, then we will use the metal for these. So that's a little February update on my raised beds. We have the baths. That one has asparagus and chili peppers, and I will probably fill that with peppers. This one I will just leave as the random chili peppers. I have this bed here, needs a little bit more weeding because I put some manure on there, so it's got grassy bits in. At the moment this has broccoli from last year. This becomes a really huge chili pepper tree, and I have some chard there. As you can see, my asparagus is coming along already this year. And then we have this area here with some broccoli next to it under the net. We have my new bed I made last year. It's going to have a little wall built in front of it. So we have this space here. We have some chard. And then behind I have the cat bags ready for more tomatoes. They love it here. The bits you can see are last year's still going on. And the same with all these cisterns would be tomatoes. Some more bags there ready for them. And then we have tyres, leaving this wildflower for now for a pollinator. This is peppers normally, chilies, tomatoes. I had garlic in this one previously, another cistern behind for tomatoes, peppers, chilies. My beautiful flowers. I'm going to plant some more wildflower seeds and another flower. I think it's a bit like a black-eyed Susan, I'm not sure. Another flower to go in with these. And there's my mint to finish with.